My name is Michael Meehan, and I'm Chief Executive of the Global Reporting Initiative, GRI. They definitely complement each other. So I think the notion or the misunderstanding, I think, in the marketplace that they compete is a misunderstanding about what integrated reporting really is, right? Integrated reporting is integrating some sustainability information that exists in your GRI reports with your financial information. GRI is all about integrating this sustainability information in all kinds of different reporting methodologies. Integrated reporting for the financial sector is just one. But we also do the same thing for human rights. We do the same thing for corruption and environment and so on. So they definitely don't compete. It's definitely a misconception of the market. So I don't come from the nonprofit sector, right? And when I first came on board, I was walking around with the previous chief executive, and everybody we would meet in this network would say, "Oh, we're big GRI supporters. We love sustainability," and they would slide across this big sustainability report across the table, saying, "We're such good reporters," and that's great. And then I would ask, "Well, what do you do with that report?" And they're like, "Oh, well, our investors read it, maybe, and maybe other people read it." And I was thinking, well, boy, if you really want, to me, sustainability isn't about creating a bigger report. To me, the value in this whole reporting process, that GRI is just a reporting process, right? It's not a tool for creating a report. And to me, the value is that organizations can understand and communicate the risks around all of these really important sustainability issues like human rights and corruption and environment, climate change, gender, all of these things. And they can make a better organization once they understand the risks, right? Whether they create a sustainability report or not. So that's the shift in GRI's thinking, is that, of course, reporting is important. And we want more people to be doing reporting, and we want them to be better quality reports, of course. But we don't want them to be doing it to be able to create a better report. We want them to be doing it so they can create a better company or a better policy, right? So that's what this is all about. So that's the shift. We're only the standard, so we don't police whether the information is correct or not. So what we do is we encourage organizations to have their reports assured, which really is just assuring whether the report is in accordance with our standard, right? But it doesn't say whether that information is true. Just like in financial reporting, like an auditor doesn't say that number is true. What they're saying is that number was arrived at through this standard, in accordance with the standard. So I think when organizations lie about what's in that report, I don't think it undermines, like the example with Volkswagen, I don't think it undermines the value of sustainability reporting. In fact, I think it's the exact opposite. It shows how valuable this process is to corporate value. So look what happened to Volkswagen, right? Volkswagen lost a quarter of its value almost overnight. CEO's out the door, right? The future of the company is at stake, all because they lied in their GRI report. Now, is that a good outcome? I think it is. I think it's a darn good outcome, because that means that this information, people care about this information. And if you are going to be disingenuous or lie about this information, well, you're going to be held to task. And that's what we're trying to do here, right? So it's even more important that these organizations are truthful about what they put in the report. So GRI's, we don't just do corporate reporting, right? That's not what we're about. The standard that we have is used for many things. It's used as a filter for foreign investment that comes into Colombia. It's used as a way to support sustainable development, which is also a big part of Colombia as well. Our activities here are actually funded by external governments, not the Colombian government, right? So the Colombia market, though, the economy is at a shift, right? And the perception of the world looking at Colombia is changing and is about to change very rapidly in this sort of post-conflict Colombia. So how does what companies are doing today in sustainability reporting and transparency, how does that contribute to the peace agenda in Colombia? So, which sounds like a really difficult question to answer, but it's actually not. So GRI is involved, countries all over the world, right? We work with a lot with the UN, and we have this thing with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Are you familiar with those? What those are? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it's these 17 big goals that all of the countries in the UN have agreed to, and we said, okay, fighting poverty is important, fighting corruption is important, reporting is important. All of these things are in there. So it's like these big pledges for companies all over the world. And so what GRI did is we got together with WBCSD, right, one of our partners, the UN Global Compact, and we created this tool that basically aligns what a company is doing today in sustainability reporting with these goals. So if I'm doing GRI today, I can say, this is how I'm tracking my progress towards this goal, right? And one of those goals is the peace agenda. So maybe it's not Colombia's peace agenda, it's the global peace agenda. But so you're already a good chunk of the way there just by using what we just launched at the UN last week, right? So I think that for the Colombia, I think that's the context that we need to look at sustainability reporting in, is how does this contribute to Colombia's progress towards a post-conflict economy. WBCSD's partnership is a global partnership. We work with them on the UN sustainability, the SDG compass and all these tools, but it's also a local one too. So we have partners that focus on the business context, and WBCSD is one of our most important partners in that way as the voice of sustainability in business. So I call that sort of the long tail of reporting. So almost all the world's big organizations use GRI for reporting, like 90% of them, right? I think it's 83% of the global 250 are using it, right? But in places like Colombia, India, Africa, it's not the big companies, it's everybody else. But GRI is designed for larger companies. So one of the things that we're doing with shifting to a standard instead of a big reporting framework is that we're going to enable smaller organizations to use the standard in a much easier way. So even tiny organizations will be able to show how they contribute to these big, like Sustainable Development Goals and so on. So reporting, we're going to try to open up reporting to all small and medium-sized business. Whereas right now it's a little difficult because it's kind of a big process for a little company. Reporting is like math, right? It's detailed and it can be difficult, but it's really important. But it's important because it aligns with these big issues, right? Peace agenda, right? Or human rights, or corruption, or environment, climate change, on and on. So these are things that are really important to everybody. But the reporting part is the way that you show where the risks are and how you actually are progressing towards those goals. So when in the journalism field, that's the ticket. That's the key, is to say, to align this really kind of difficult and detailed process with these things that everybody agrees to, right? And that's why the Sustainable Development Goals are so important, because it just lists out 17 big issues that the world needs to do, and all of these countries, including this one, have agreed to do. So start with that, and then say, this is the way that you get there, right? Reporting is the way that you achieve those goals. So again, I think you have to align the reports with these issues, right? So should a sustainability report be just one big report about everything sustainability? Maybe not, right? Maybe we should have a report based on, in a Colombian context, based on the peace agenda. How is this company progressing towards the peace agenda? Well, that'll be a part of the sustainability report. And I'll read that for sure, because it's directed towards a goal, right? So I think that's how you do it. You focus on really big, important issues.